How's it going, everyone?
Garden tour week 18.
And it's windy. We got a little helper today. So what we plan on doing is basically take out potatoes and start taking it all out, because the last couple of nights it froze and we actually haven't even turned our heater on. Can you believe that? Our furnace hasn't been on yet, but I had the wood stove going. I lit it twice. So just warm up the house basically into the 70s, and then we didn't light it overnight, and then we lit it one more time the next day, and that was about it. So, but now it's going to be 70s for a while and in nice weather, but we want to get the potatoes out and start ripping all the other plants out.
Look at that one.
Now, if only they were all this size. That's a big red potato. So I don't know what happened, because a lot of these are so small. So I'm wondering if that pile was almost too rich with nitrogen. But oh well, we tried a new method. Just try a different one next year until we find one that we like.
So this year, this was less potatoes than we had hoped for. We didn't really plant a ton. We only planted 2 bags worth of seed potatoes. So we know we'll plant more next year, but it's always kind of trying to figure it all out. And this year I've probably only bought about 30 pounds of potatoes, so that kind of puts in perspective of how much we would need to get through the year. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but our kids hate potatoes. Matt, how do you and I feel about potatoes?
Yeah.
They're good in my belly.
We love potatoes. Kids don't like them. So we don't eat them a ton just because it's not one of their favorite things. So I went over by the tomatoes and look at what I found. Okay, dropped one. Oop, I dropped a few. A lot of green tomatoes. They were down kind of in the ground cover, hidden by the leaves, still on the plants growing. So they must have gotten just a little bit of protection that they didn't get yucky. A few more tomatoes for us. I even found a couple little green peppers still going on the plants, so I grabbed those. That's great. Those will probably be in our eggs tomorrow morning. So it is more than time to harvest our pumpkins. That powdery mildew that was on them kind of took them out. People gave us great advice, but kind of by the time we got it, they were done for. So we will probably have the kids harvest these tomorrow. They're at school right now, so when they're home and they can do that. I have to show you this though. Just a little ways down from that wall, I came out here the other day and I saw this on the ground. I'm like, who left a toy out in the yard? Go clean that up. And they're like, that's not a toy, Mom. And I'm like, what is that way over there? I'm like, it's a pumpkin. I'm like, who broke a pumpkin? So the kids claim that the wall over there, that this was the pumpkin hanging off the wall growing down. Probably, I remember there was a pumpkin growing off the wall, but that it rolled all the way down to here and broke itself. I'm not sure about that. Maybe, but at least they're having fun out in nature, right?
This is heavy. I don't know if I can make it up this hill.
Woo, it's hot in here. Uh-oh, I think we need something open, dear. 105.
I can feel
Hot,
it.
he says. Can you tell the camera, is it hot?
Is it hot? Is it hot in there?
Feel weird on your nose breathing it in? Hot. Is it hot on your feet? Whew! 105 in here. Doesn't feel like fall, that's for sure. The sun has really been shining bright the last couple days. I think that really heated it up.
So, yeah, this pepper plant, it's my pepper plant. Carrots back here coming up good. But man, this pepper plant is just, it's awesome. This is really cool. And this is our first like big pepper. We gotta let, there's a bunch of little ones, but we gotta let that one go for sure. Unless there's other ones. Let it go so it turns red so we can save the seeds. But everything's doing really well. I'm not gonna water this area anymore because I wanna see if that's what's affecting the tomato plant. Hopefully it'll cure it. Because you can see the soil's dry over here, but where it's shaded, it's not nearly as dry. So it's holding a lot more moisture, obviously. So I'm not gonna water in there, I'm just gonna water the open stuff.
So Matt mentioned the tomatoes, kind of the curling leaves is a little bit of a concern for us. All these flowers. It is so cool. There's just flowers everywhere. There's actually quite a few tomatoes on here, and the first 2 tomatoes that grew on here are starting to blush. So you actually have to go into the jungle if you want to see them. So come on. Are you in here? You're gonna have to come closer. Do you see that? Those blushing tomatoes up there? We had to crawl way back in here to see them, but they're here. How exciting. So these are our Wisconsin Chief tomatoes. I would say it's similar to like a Better Boy or like a Big and Beefy, not quite as big as those, but just kind of more of a typical tomato. We've really liked these just kind of for the versatility of them. They don't really have those unripened spots at the top like the bigger heirlooms do, and they're not quite as meaty as like a Roma tomato would be. So the radishes are coming in great. We've been picking them here and there. Matt and Evan love to eat them fresh, so every once in a while we'll throw those on the table for lunch. But these greens, it's like we cannot keep up with them. We are cutting them every couple mornings to put in our eggs, and they just keep on coming. And they seem like they're really huge and they wouldn't taste good, but once you get them cut up and cooked, they're delicious. All the pretty different lettuce varieties are starting to pop up, so we can really see all the different colors, a little different shaped leaves, and that's really exciting to see. I'm hoping that we can have some lettuce, some salads right from the greenhouse shortly, and we're not sure if we're going to be able to keep this kind of growing long term through the winter, or if it'll just kind of sit on pause in here until we get some longer hours of sun kind of after winter's coming to an end. I'm so glad we decided to get bush beans and plant these bush beans in here. We had only ever grown pole beans before, and just kind of seeing how big and beautiful these plants are getting is so exciting. It said by the date that I planted them that they would be ready to harvest now, but we expected they'd be growing a little bit slower. But I gotta show you how big some of these beans already are. So we're getting a few green beans that are actually at a size where we could pick them. We're gonna wait a little bit, so hopefully we can do a big or decent sized harvest in here. I'm really hoping that we will have enough time to can beans this year. Our busy season usually hits about mid-October. We're kind of there, so we will see if I have time.
So I got the little guy because he was just trying to pull all the lettuce, thinking they're weeds probably. So our spinach is doing really well. So what I'm going to start doing now, I didn't water for 2 days, and I kind of just want to let everything dry out because I'm trying to get that tomato plant especially dry out. So I'm going to water the onions and not the carrots, and water the spinach and then the green beans and lettuce, and let everything else just kind of dry up. And the reason why I don't want to water the carrots is I want to drive that root deep, so I want the moisture to be way down in the bottom. I don't want it to be towards the top.
So our lavender plants grew really nice and big this year. This was our first time trying to plant the lavender. So the lavender, we didn't get any flowers on it, but it just smells so good. We didn't even use it for anything. Sorry, Mom, we were really grateful for it, but it grew big and bushy, and we were kind of hoping we could find a way to help it make it through winter. It's not supposed to make it through winter here where we live in Minnesota, Zone 4B, but if it does, that would be great. We just have this metal cage on it so nobody steps on it because it's kind of where the kids play. So let us know if you have grown lavender successfully as a perennial in Zone 4B. We would love to hear some tips and advice. Please leave a comment down below if you can help us with that.
This guy's getting heavy. He's not happy. He wants to pull lettuce.
Thanks for joining us on another garden tour. If you liked this content, be sure to give it a
thumbs up. He smiles. And if you want to see more of this, then subscribe. Glad you got to see us again. Bye.
Can you wave?
You wave bye-bye?
You wave bye-bye? Bye.
Do that smile. Do that smile.
You see bye?
Bye.
Bye. My hair was in my face. Let's redo that. I don't know if they're called leaves. Ooh, got ladybugs attacking me here. Ooh. Ladybugs, Asian beetles, I'm not sure which. Didn't get any flowers on it. Right in my mouth. The ladybugs are attacking me.